live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Thanks for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. It's Friday, February 23rd. We're dedicating a lot of time to go in depth on Kouri Richins this evening. That is the child book author accused of killing her husband. Again, right now, accusations. We haven't really seen much go through in the court process, but we're hearing from family and friends tonight. Our Amanda Gilbert will also join us in just a few minutes as we go in depth on this evening. Of course, you can always get in touch with us during the show. Use the hashtag 2 News Live to join in on this conversation, and we always want you to feel like you've got a voice in this, especially for some coverage such as this, where it's garnered some national attention. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, even TikTok, if you'd like to send a DM to weigh in. So tonight we're going in depth on the case that surrounds Kouri Richins, as mentioned, the child book author who wrote about grief after allegedly killing her husband by giving him a lethal dose of fentanyl. CBS in 48 hours sat down with Kouri's mom and brothers. Here they are speaking with Natalie Morales about the night they got a call from Kouri, the same night that her husband Eric Richins died, and the book that she wrote after.
And she said they went to bed about 9:15. She went and laid with Ash. Ashton, the 9-year-old, has always had major nightmares. And when she went back to get in her bed, he was cold. She went to push on him and he didn't respond.
It's just unbelievable. You're in shock that something like that, could happen.
How were the boys? Did the boys know what was happening?
They knew something was happening, and they could see the ambulances and cops coming in. Very distraught.
They all just sat there and on the couch and just cried together. Kouri was still completely distraught. Even now, she's never had time to just breathe. She's doing her best to move on. The boys, it's still hard for them. They lashed out a little bit because they couldn't quite understand what was going on. And they needed some help, and Kouri needed some help.
I think the book was a great thing.
It helped them.
It helped them all.
It seemed to make the boys really happy.
So Kouri Richins was back in court today. It was a closed motion hearing. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Right now, the charges against her are indeed allegations. No clear admission of guilt or a plea entered. Here's her family on the overall situation.
For anybody who knows Kouri, she could not have done this. She'd never do this.
She's innocent. She's been thrown in jail over something that she hasn't committed.
Are you both confident that Kouri will be found not guilty, Lisa?
I am, 100%.
And what about you, DJ?
100%. She'll be out.
All right, so now to a friend of Kouri Richins, sharing the perspective on Kouri as a person, as a businesswoman, and a mother.
Kouri was a real estate agent that also would buy and fix up and flip homes. She was smart, she was savvy, she knew how to connect. She was absolutely in love with Eric and absolutely in love with her boys. Kouri had something that a lot of people don't. A lot of times you find an individual that is intelligent but no common sense, or common sense and no intelligence. She had both. She was a brilliant young lady. She writes a children's book to help her work through the feelings with her children.
So Kouri's attorney is Sky Lazaro, a well-known criminal defense attorney here in Utah. Sky also appears right here on KUTV 2 News to offer perspective and credibility to a lot of our court-based reporting. She sat down with Amanda Gilbert on Thursday to discuss the client that she represents in this, Kouri Richins.
Emotions are hard in these cases. I mean, as we know, she's charged with or alleged to have murdered her husband. She's now, pretty much lost her children throughout the course of this, and she's been incarcerated this whole time. So I'm really proud of her for how much strength and resolve she's had through this and in dealing with, her life essentially. She went from having everything to really nothing. She still talks to her family. They've remained very supportive of her. She has some communication with her kids through the DCFS case, but it's pretty limited. Okay. They have maintained 100% supportive of her, that she is innocent, that she didn't kill her husband, and they have not wavered from that. I think everybody's maintained from the beginning the reason she wrote the book to begin with was to help her children through the grieving process of their father, because she couldn't find, anything out there that was helpful. And so I think it was a good part of the process for all of them. She's charged with aggravated murder, which carries a penalty of, in her case, life without parole. And what the state's going to have to prove in this case is that they've taken the position that he's died of a lethal dose of fentanyl, but that she got the drugs, that she gave him the drugs with the intent to kill him, and that she also did it for some sort of pecuniary gain.
Okay, so Sky is Kouri's attorney. Let's continue our in-depth coverage here with Greg Skordas, also a well-known criminal defense attorney in Utah. Skordas represents the family of Eric Richins and has been the only person to speak out on that side of the family's behalf.
This was a huge loss. He was this beautiful son and brother. To have that taken away from you, I can't imagine much worse than that. Fentanyl is many, many times more potent than oxys and the other pain medications that we typically use. It's a very dangerous drug, but he certainly wasn't an opioid or an illegal drug user. He didn't die of a self-inflicted drug overdose. And they said, this doesn't smell right. Absolutely. No question the family thought that right from the beginning. The dosage that he was given that night was of such a high level that no person could have survived it. The family is concerned about the boys.
What is the family doing to stay strong now?
The family has the family. They have each other. They feel like the state has put together a good case, and they're going to stay united and support each other no matter what happens in this case.
Okay, so let's talk to Amanda Gilbert, who sat down with Sky Lazaro yesterday. But Amanda, you've seen all of these interviews. You've shared some coverage last night on 2 News. What did you make of what you heard from friends and family, specifically of Kouri Richins?
Yeah, and I've also interviewed Ronnie Darden, the brother, a few months ago, and there's a few big takeaways. One, this is a case where there's been a lot of evidence, information that's been released before we've even had a preliminary hearing. This family, though, they are maintaining their stance that Kouri's innocent. They don't think she could do this. Another big thing, the book, I asked them about that, and they actually like that she wrote the book. They say it's helped her and her boys. They claim that she wrote it because she couldn't find a lot of grief books out there like this. So those are 2 big takeaways. And a final thing is, when you ask them about Eric, they seem to paint him in a positive light. They speak highly of him so far in the coverage I've seen, and they say that they had a good marriage, but that is something that will be talked about more.
Well, you heard Mom there. She believes, and other family members say that Kouri is innocent, and that'll come out shortly. So they remain obviously confident in Kouri's stance. But you mentioned evidence being released early, which has gotten some mixed reaction depending on where you're following this case. What was today's hearing about?
Yeah, and we actually just got an update on that minutes ago. So today was all about whether or not some of the evidence found in Kouri's jail cell should be released to the state. And it was closed. We weren't allowed access to that, but we did learn that they've decided some of it should be released to the state and others, parts of it should not. So something we will continue to follow.
Speaking of continuing to follow, for those that haven't been able to or have kind of seen this lull in the court process, which we also experienced with Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrand, something I was very familiar of where these months seem to just fly by where nothing happens. Where are we in the process now?
Well, we also just got an update on that because it has been pretty silent for a bit, but today we're learning there is going to be a preliminary hearing date set. It's looking like possibly in April or May. We're still working to learn that exact date, but once we get closer to that preliminary hearing, we're going to get a better idea of what each side's arguments are, get closer to possibly a trial date eventually.
All right, so things quieted down for a while, but they appear to be ramping back up. Amanda has been looking into this for quite a while here, talking to people that are close to this situation with Kouri Richins. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
So as we mentioned, CBS and 48 Hours sat down with Kouri's mom and brother. That'll be the subject of tomorrow's episode of 48 Hours. So earlier today, our Jim Spiewak spoke with CBS News' Natalie Morales about the case and the interviews that she conducted.
Well, you know, police interviewed Eric's family. They said they believed that Kouri was involved in Eric's death and that Kouri and Eric, they'd been fighting over this multi-million-dollar business deal that Kouri had just closed on, and she was said to be celebrating it, although his family said that Eric was not. Eric's family also told police that Eric told them if anything happened to him, that he said Kouri was to blame, and they told police as well that he even suspected that Kouri had tried and failed to kill him twice before. Now, all of these assertions are recounted in court papers. Kouri's family is disputing all of it. They say there is no proof that she ever tried to poison Eric. And they say, though the couple had been through some rough patches before, that they were in fact in a very good place in their marriage, that they would never been happier. Yeah, I know you guys have covered this one at length. You know, according to these court documents, Kouri stood to gain around $3 million in life insurance money. And that, according to these court documents, is money she desperately needed, according to his family, for her house flipping business. And, you know, they say that she was deeply in debt. So where this case now stands is it has yet to go to trial. It is expected to go to trial sometime next year, and Kouri right now remains in custody.
So you can watch Natalie Morales' full report tomorrow, 9 p.m. It airs right before 2 News at 10. You can also watch it streaming on Paramount Plus. And stay with 2 News as we continue to bring you the latest updates on this case. We just brought you some right here on 2 News Live from Amanda Gilbert, who had 2 updates for you, and you heard them here first. You can read our in-depth coverage of this case, of course, on our website, KUTV.com. Let's get to the man who was on the slopes today. Meteorologist Sean Kelly here, not only with your forecast looking ahead to the weekend, but with a beautiful picture from the Great Western Cam up there at Brighton. What a night.
I know. What a day it's been here. We're almost at golfing weather, too, heading into the weekend.
How's your swing?
Grilling. It's a little rusty.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
The golf swing is always a work in progress.
It sure is.
Even for the pros. Don't let it fool you.
The putting, too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, we've got this beautiful look at Brighton. Temperatures there to the 20s. Not too bad, but beautiful. It was a bluebird today. It's going to be a bluebird tomorrow with really comfortable temperatures. Let's show you a different scene, though. This is out in Salt Lake right now. 50 degrees with some high-level clouds up above, but it's beautiful. It's nice, and it's only going to get nicer as we head into the day tomorrow, and especially Sunday. Temperatures across the area, we have all that snow that we saw this week up in the Cache Valley area. Logan, as a result, hovering right at freezing. We're at 45 in Provo, 50 in Milford and Cedar City. Meanwhile, St. George, you're the winner there into the lower 60s. As I mentioned, some streaming clouds moving in, but generally dealing with quiet weather across much of the central part of the nation out towards the west coast. Really calm conditions, high pressure system will continue to keep really the rain away from us and dry, beautiful weather through the weekend. But the valley rain, mountain snow returns for Monday, though this time we're going to see drastic changes in what we've been normally dealing with here. We'll start off Monday morning, mountain snow and some very light rain moving into our northern counties. But then we're going to go to a quick changeover as we head into late Monday evening. A cold front will plummet the temperatures here, and we'll see temperatures fall into the 20s and 30s, and that will change everyone for our northern counties, at least even including the valley floors, to all snow overnight into early Tuesday morning's commute. Going to be slick and slushy as we head into Tuesday morning, so we're going to be watching out for that. Several inches of accumulating snow expected for our valleys. Right now we're forecasting about 2 to 5 inches. Wasatch back, probably about 4 to 8 inches of snow, and then the mountain's going to do really well with this storm. About 1 to 2 feet expected. A lot can still kind of change here in terms of the timing and the specific totals, so stay tuned with us each day through the next few days. But for right now, it is still looking like a pretty substantial storm, although the timing here is a little bit increased and arriving a little bit earlier, that is. Lows tonight down into the 20s and 30s tomorrow. We're warming up into the 50s we go. Spring-like weather for the weekend. We're into the mid and upper 60s down in St. George. Windy weather, though, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll have to watch out for some wind gusts near 35 miles per hour. And then that Salt Lake forecast +2 showing some changes here over the course of the next 7 days. Kind of like a roller coaster ride.
That'd be a good +2, Sean.
50s,
It's awesome.
60s, 30s. We got
but
it all.
what is this? Yeah, what
we
is
got it
this?
all. We got
Look
it all.
at that.
That's a little taste of spring
Come
right
on.
there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Something for everybody. That's how
That's
this
right.
works. Thank you, Sean. Remember to download our 2 News weather app to know about the changes in your neighborhood. You can get updated forecasts, some live radar right on your phone. The app, the 2 News weather app, is free. Tonight at 6, a 2 News special on a case that encompasses the state of Utah, really been seen all around the world. It's called Truth and Distortion, the Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrand story.
Are the neighbors out of their home, or is anybody looking for them that you can see?
I'm not sure. How did you get out of the house? He says you just left through the porch at the neighbor's house. Her name is Jody Hildebrand.
We'll show you the call for help that started this entire case, really broke it open to the public and to us, and also outline the allegations of abuse. Plus, we learn more about Ruby and Jody working together, despite what Jody and Ruby had to say in court earlier this week. And we will also hear from a family member who shares their own experience of abuse. It's a case that we've spent a lot of time on. Our 2 News Investigates special, Truth and Distortion. The Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrand story airs in about 15 minutes. We'll be breaking down the case, the sentencing, the sequence of events that led us up to this point. You can catch it tonight, KUTV 2 News, on your television from 6 to 7 o'clock. Maybe don't watch it during dinner. Just going to say it's a little tough. It's a little tough to stomach. Eat now and watch it after. That's my suggestion to you, because it does get into some details, of course. But it's a case that a lot of people have been interested in. I'm interested in the weekend and how things look for people out there.
Right.
I don't think I will be able to golf, but I might ski.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's still ski season.
It is still ski season.
So, yeah, you know, golf can wait. Golf can wait.
So, Sean, you've only been here in Utah a little bit.
Yeah.
How late will the resorts stay open here in Utah, despite how much snow they have?
Mid to late April.
You hope. Man, you hope. I moved here from New England, and then by the way of Oregon, I'm like, man, we got so much snow. Stay up until June.
I know.
They just don't do it.
I know.
Because people want to golf. Thanks for watching 2 News Live here on a Friday. Have a great weekend, by the way, because we're back on Monday to do this all over again. 2 News Live, streams live, YouTube, KUTV.com, Facebook, you name it. We're there, wherever you're streaming. Have a great weekend. Enjoy it, whether you're golf or skiing or not. See you on Monday.